Hey, shout out to Reggie, man. Welcome to the panel, Black City Plan, baby. How you doing?
Peace, brother Sanchez. Peace to the fam. How's everybody?
We doing real good, man.
Good. Peace. Yes, sir. What's up?
Good. I'm not your enemy. I just have a couple of points that at some point we can talk about. But I came on. I ain't scared. And I am professional. If you watch my show, I'm only unprofessional when somebody disrespects me. If many of you watched, I was talking about the concept of the universe, and I was talking about the ancient Egyptian cosmology, and then the Earth community wanted to interrupt my presentation and talk to me. I wasn't really prepared to talk about what they was. But I did listen to them, and I did have some points. So that's the way I carry myself. And, you know, shout out to Sinetta. Sinetta's my brother. And what he does is he puts out the information in the beginning, how he puts out the information. But he don't care if he wants me to win, but he don't care. At the end of the day, he does it for the people. So, anything particularly you want to talk to me about? My information is about the ancient African conception of the world, where that's where I started. Your scientific points, those things we can line them up and we can, right? I mean, if you're right, you're right. I said your scientific points, those things are worth talking about, but my space is more narrow to the ancient conception of the world. Though if I hear some of your points, talking and debating about it, certainly we could talk about it. I spent most of my time learning about ancient Africa and particularly ancient Kemet. Is there anything that you want to talk about the ancient conception of the world, so that maybe we could talk a little bit more in the future?
Yeah, I want to start from a general stance since we just here and we kind of getting acquainted. And let me say shout out to you for joining me, Reggie. I hope that me and you can make it a regular thing where we can kind of have comedic bills and show you, because there's a whole comedic community of flat earthers, brother. And whether Sarnetta like it or not, you got to get used to it. We got Flat Earth Brooklyn. We got a lot of people right there in New York who flat earthers, man. Only thing I'm saying is you have to be patient enough to hear how we come to that point, and I'll be patient enough to hear both sides. I think we can't do it in one sit down. I don't think it need to be a debate. I think it need to be a discussion with the kind of energy like what we have now. And let me mute you for a second, brother Reggie. And the reason I say that is because, you know, when it's about debating, it goes back to what brother Reggie just said. He said that if me and him debate, of course Sarnetta wants him to win, which is respected. I'm not going to be mad at him for that. But I want the children to win. I want the truth to win. I want the people to win. I want the powers to lose. You see, I don't care. I knew when I went on Sarnetta, I wasn't going to win, quote unquote, win the debate, because I knew it was going to be one-sided. See, I found out in my career with debating that when you debate a person, their followers say they won and your followers say you win. That's how it always go. They followers say they won, your followers say you won, no matter who really won. So at the end of the day, I really do it for the people, just to introduce them to the flat earth concept in an unbiased way where they can go research on their own. You know, if you got the truth, me introducing some as dumb as the flat earth, like y'all said, shouldn't be a threat to it. But if I'm able to make all of my points without being interrupted and like the circus that Sarnetta had over there, then I can really get through to some people. Not necessarily saying I'm going to make them into a flat earther, but I'm telling you that the flat earth is the truth. Me telling it to you don't mean a crap. I would like the opportunity to sit down and actually show you what made me a flat earther, because all of us not dumb as Reggie. There's a lot of us in big positions in society that's flat earthers, professors and all. And I would like to share with you what they know, whether you accept it or not. Even my comedic knowledge. I believe I have some comedic knowledge that'll blow you away, Reggie. And I believe you got some that'll do the same with me, brother.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. But you know, since it's just me and you, we don't need to talk bad about Sarnetta. You know, I'm a supporter. I come from a different world. My teacher was Dr. Joseph Benjo Cannon, Dr. Clark, and Dr. Jeffries, many scholars. I work with Sarnetta because he puts the information out. So what do you, in ancient world, particularly ancient Kemet, you believe that ancient Kemet viewed the world as flat? Is that what you believe?
No, I don't believe it. I know it. I know that all of the ancients subscribe to a flat earth cosmology. There's nowhere around it. No one was born thinking that they was on a globe in an ancient day. We weren't born thinking we on a globe. Someone had to give you that, just like they gave you the Bible. So no one was born a Christian. They was given the Bible. No one was born a globalist. They was given a globe. If you was born without all of that, you would have just went with your senses that the horizon is horizontal and that the earth ain't moving because I don't feel it moving, no matter how many mathematical formulas that an idiot draw out to deceive the rest of the world. And I can debunk the globe in 2 minutes, Reggie, but I'm going to let you keep building and I'm going to mute my mic.
Okay, so the ancient Egyptian conception of the world, early man, of course, early man conceptualized what they saw, which was the earth work on the being flat or hilly, and they drew it. And then early man began to study the stars and study the minerals and the elements and the things around him and nature, and then they evolved in thought. Early man's biggest breakthrough is egg. The egg, in watching various types of eggs, ostrich egg, which was something very prized in ancient times. They took the ostrich egg and they actually drew their world on the ostrich egg. And I don't think that that's debatable. And then the ancient Egyptians later, they began to look at things like the Kepler beetle and the dung that it rolled. We saw the male and female Kepler beetle rolling dung across the universe or the earth as they saw it. And they conceptualized that and they saw them, the round dung beetle, and that became a major part of their cosmology.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go to things like language. And Ta is represented as flat, but if you notice, there's 3 dots underneath it. And so you have to look at the whole concept of what is Ta. Ta is actually also bread. So then you're looking at the ancient Egyptians and their cosmology. Now this has nothing to do with science. The Egyptians could be dead wrong. I am not a Nile Valley religious person. I'm not that. I don't believe in that. I don't pray to any of that. So I've been to Kemet. I'm not trained to believe in it religiously. So Brother Jabari is my brother. I am not a priest. I'm a Nile Valley scientist. So those are the things that begin the kind of conversation about law. They saw spherical objects such as the ostrich egg.
You mind if I cut in a minute?
Well, obviously you are. So go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. But you just making a lot of points, and you know we got a panel here, and I just wanted to deal with a couple of points because the spherical concept, I admire that. You do know that us flat earthers have a spherical conception of the earth, right?
Different flat earthers. So some may, some not. So but I hear you, so continue.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to let you know. You're using a concept right now called as above, so below. And I think that's excellent. Because when we deal with as above, so below, and you look at an egg, you're right, it's spherical. Now, if you're saying that the earth is spherical because the egg is spherical, then I can agree with you on that. But the only disagreement would be that I wouldn't say the earth is spherical. I would say that the cosmos is spherical, but the earth is a plane, you know. So when you look at words like you just did, planet means a plane enclosed in a net, and the plane would be the ground, you know, a flat plane, and the net would be NUT, enclosed in a net. So if you think about that spherical concept you mentioned, you're right, as above, so below. We're enclosed inside of a cosmic egg, as the ancients called it, because no life lives on the surface of an egg. That'll be outside in, inside out.
Here's the thing. The thing is, I don't believe that the as above, so below. You never heard me say that. The Earth exists in space. Is multiple. So because I do not believe that the Earth is flat and the Earth is round, it has different viewpoints of looking out. East, west, there's northeast, southeast. Southeast, southwest. There are different angles in which you can. Based on the Earth's rotation and rotation of the sun. This as below, as above, so below. Those are if there's Nile Valley Africans talking that and using that, they're very, very narrow.
Hold on, wait a minute. Hold up, wait. Let me say this, Reggie. I learned as above, so below from the great master teachers on Sarnetta's platform. What do you mean?
No,
wait, hold up. Wait. Give me a minute to explain, because you just made a big statement. As above, so below is the most ancient African concept on earth. It means let thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. The Christians stole it and corrupted it into that. As above, so below is what the Baphomet telling you why they got us scared of a little goat, man. Only thing I'm saying is, our ancestors lived their lives by the heavens. They dictated what they did. They dictated what they did on the ground by the stars. They even built their whole cities based on where they're going to place the buildings based on as above, so below. The pyramids on Giza is built on as above. The stars above, they're in alignment to what's happening below. That's an ancient African concept. To hear Brother Reggie come up here and say he don't deal with that and that's not Kemetic, I'm so shocked that I'm just going to mute my mic and just let you keep going, brother.
Yeah, don't be shocked, because who are you calling as the master teachers on Sarnetta? There are different people who come with different point of view. When it comes to ancient Kemet, on Sarnetta's platform, I think I'm probably deals with Nile Valley cosmology. Definitely respect Infedici, and he is certainly a master teacher. He's not yet really talked too much about this. The other people are coming from other spaces and other teachers. So some of them come from Dr. York perspective, come from Phil Valentine's perspective. I learned from Dr. Joseph Benjo Cannon and Dr. Leonard Jeffries and a whole slew of scholars learning this myself. So this as be above, as below is a very simplified conception. The African actually believed in the duat, the pet, right? They believed in another world. They believed in the sky, and they believed in another world. That's what they believed in. What they saw in the sky, as you know, during different periods stars and planets change perspective over cycles. So, and then if you are saying that there's some master teacher, tell me who that person is.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Go ahead and let me mute your mic a minute. You got echo.
All right, so Reggie, when I talk about these master teachers, I had to mute you because you had a little echo. Shout out to everybody tuning in. I came up when I was listening to the House of Consciousness. There was so many people: Amos Wilson, Runako Rashidi, Dr. Barashango at that time. Ray Hagans was popping. You know, I spoke with Ashra Kwesi one time on the phone. I can keep going. Basically, everybody you naming, I know about them and I listen to them. And one of the concepts that they taught was as above, so below. You can teach the concept without using that term. And just to show you what I'm talking about, a minute ago, you mentioned that the ancients didn't have nothing to do with as above, so below. But why would you say that when you turned right around and said that the ancients believed in different sky deities or something that you said? Whatever their beliefs was about the heavens, it dictated what they did below. Whatever Christians believe about their sky daddy, it dictates their life below. That's why they trying to be good, because as above, they looking up there to heaven at Jesus, and down below, they trying to be good so they don't mess their sky daddy up. Everything we do is as above, so below. It's all about astrotheology, which is one of the oldest connections that man had to the stars. And that comes from Kemet and Africa and Egypt and all of those things that y'all said y'all you know, embrace, but I can't really tell right now where the amnesia comes in, because when we talk about the tracking of the stars and how the stars align and building certain temples to the stars, that's the ancestors looking above to be influenced on what to do below. This is something that's been, hold on, wait, I didn't cut you off, I'm almost done. One of the oldest spiritual symbols on earth is the yin yang symbol. And when you look at it, you got one fish pointed up above and one fish pointed down below. That's what the Baphomet telling you. Let your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. As above, so below. Everything is a continuum. It's a cosmic code. That's what the Kananga represents, DNA. So I'm gonna mute my mic, Reggie. There's a lot we both could teach each other, I'm sure. But we have to be willing to learn and be wrong sometime. But I'm going to tell you, as above, so below is one of the oldest spiritual concepts. And I learned it from the African customs and cultures, not even necessarily from Sarnetta. If you look at ancient African proverbs like I do, you'll even see them talk about as above, so below in a lot of Yoruban poetry and different African proverbs. So this is old, but I'm gonna mute my mic. You know, I'm gonna let everybody build. Go ahead, guys.
So hey, I got a question.
Well, can I respond?
Yeah.
Let Reggie respond for y'all go.
So I will talk about. I will always only talk about ancient Africa. I could talk about Southern Africa, Nubia, and ancient Egypt. The Asians, I don't talk about any of those people. The scholars that you talked about, maybe of the group, Ashra Kwesi is when it came to that group that you out, but I think that my conception, he never talks about cosmology, he talks about temples. He's an expert in Dr. Ben's, basically Dr. Ben's tours. He's a student of Dr. Joseph Ben Jochanan, and a very good one. Concept of what these been taught about the temples and some aspects of ancient Egypt, but he's a temple expert. The ancient Egyptian Kemetic space is that things happen not just basically what happens is when it appears. So you have the Akat, you have Ra rising over Akat. So then you see a spherical, if you want, I would say a globe rising around the, rising up from the horizon, and that becomes the akin. Doing is they take an observation at a particular period of time when the sun rises and when the sun falls. And their conception of the world is that NUT, swallowing the sun, to the sun. So, and so that's their conception at that particular point on ancient Egypt. So I don't want to get lost. I'm not saying it ain't. And then again, you said Sky Daddy. Now, I'm not a religious Nile Valley African, Brother Sanchez.
Yeah, I know that. I was just making another reference, a general reference when I used it. I wasn't using it for you.
You're just talking to me.
No. What I did, if you rewind a video, I was referencing Christians. You're not a Christian.
Yes.
You're not a Christian,
right?
brother.
So we need not talk about. We need not talk. You're talking to me, and I'm talking to you.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? I'm not talking about Christian Hebrews. I'm not talking about Buddhists. I'm not talking.
No. I wasn't talking about Christians. I made an example. I was trying to make a point to you, and I used Christians as an example. Just rewind the video, brother. I don't think you was comprehending me.
I'm just saying, let's just keep it narrow, and then I'm going to be respectful to your other guests. So when I said pet, presentation of what is above, do it. That is their representation of, or within noon, within NUT that they cannot see. And then so I'm not talking about any gods or anything like that.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we can't escape the concept of dealing with deities when we deal with ancient cosmology, because ancients didn't separate their spiritual deities from the science. They actually personified these scientific concepts into deities. So that's how we get personified. Huh?
Because you're going to have to give me a text that says that. I think that a lot of times they give respect to the high principles, which they may deify.
Hold on.
For example,
yeah, I think that what you just said is what you think. I'm giving you some truth, Reggie. Let me teach you something. Listen, have you ever heard of NEET?
Yes.
All right. Do you know her symbol looks like DNA? It's a woven braid, right? Are you familiar with that?
They say this, but they didn't know DNA at that time.
All right. You telling me that the people in Egypt didn't know about DNA, but they knew how to build pyramids and line them up with the damn stars?
That has nothing to do with NEET is actually
no, wait a minute. It's not your turn. I'm about to tell you what NEET is according to me. Then you can tell her what it is according to you, and the people can decide. But I was finna tell you what my research shows. See, in order for us to learn new things, Reggie, we got to be willing to understand that old shit we standing on may be false, and we may not know as much as we think we know. So we got to be willing to humble ourselves and be wrong. I've learned a lot from Sarnetta platform. Don't you think he can learn a lot from mine? People ain't following what I'm teaching because I'm a dummy, Reggie. Hold on. Go ahead. I couldn't hear you because go ahead. You muffled out. Go ahead.
What you think NEET is?
Okay, cool. I'm glad you asked. If you look at the name NEET, and I got many videos on this, you see the word 8 in it. The word 8 is actually in the name NEET. And if you look at her symbol, it's shaped like the number 8. The number 8 is the symbol of infinity. And that's also the way DNA shapes. The number 8 is hourglass because DNA is the foundation of what we call time or life. So it's the hourglass. It's the string theory because it's the needle and thread, masculine, feminine, that keeps weaving that DNA together. And that's what the woman do when she's knitting together a quilt. So when a woman is knitting, she's knighting or knitting. Knight is nut, knit, string theory dealing with neat is night. Both of them are dark deities that shows you depictions of DNA. Now, nut represents the arch, the belly, the womb of the woman that encloses the baby, just like she's enclosing Geb. So that baby is being formed in darkness, just like Geb. You see what I'm saying? And then she's represents darkness, or all the colors of the rainbow, which is the arch. But when you go outside and see a rainbow, that proves to you that the curve is above your head and not under your feet. Nut represents the arch of the covenant. The covenant is really the covering. She covers Geb just like the mama's belly covers the baby. That's your first house. Your second one is the night sky, which is the big dome ceiling, and the Muslim mosque is made just like flat earth cosmology. So when you talk about Neef, Nut, night, you're talking about DNA, you're talking about from darkness comes all things. So night, Nut is 8, is night. It's the flower of life. It's all of that. So that's what Neith is in a nutshell. I can obviously go on and on with that, but she is knit, she's nuts, she's knots, she's so many other deities throughout the diaspora besides just Kemet. And her sign is DNA string theory. Her symbol is the same thing as the Dogon Kanunga. And I get into that on this channel. There's a lot we got to learn. And I'll be willing to share it with people that's humble enough to understand that, you know, it's just more information to add to your.
That's fine.
Okay, cool. Go ahead, brother.
I guess I can ask you. Thank you so much. Okay, so if we look at ancient Egyptian texts, we find what the people have said about Nis, not DNA. So generally from the Meta Necha is that Nis, she fashions the world. She puts together the world. And then later scientists, that sounds like the smallest part that that fashions the atom, like quantum physics. But in ancient Egypt, from Esna, it says that Nis fashions the world. That's all it says. Now we can read into it. Now, fashioning the world has nothing to do with DNA specifically. It's really talking more about quantum physics, not anything having to do with biological life. So biological life do with the same substances when chemicals.
Hey Reggie, you know that you know that you just said that. First of all, the mistake you're making, you're bringing up fields of study that didn't exist in the ancient world to describe an ancient concept. Hold on. I'm finna pass it back to you. Okay, hold on. Wait a minute.
I said that DNA, they did not know what DNA was. They're conceptualizing these things.
Hold on, brother. I'm saying, brother, I hear what you're saying, and I don't care what text you're using, because if you put up 10 different texts right now, none of them will say the same thing. So if you want to go with the description that you just read, we can use that. If she's the one that fashions the entire cosmos, it goes back to everything I just said, brother. You're being argumentative. All things come from darkness. That's the primordial sea, the shit behind your eyelids that you got to go back to every night that you can't escape. That's what you came from. That's what you're going to go back to in the ground. That's where everything you perceive as physical come from. The darkness of a mind, a womb of a mind, and all life come from the darkness, the womb of a woman. It's very, very simple. So when you look at Neith, she's actually depicted dark because her name Neith is really night. And it's really also 8 as well, the number 8, because that's what her symbol represents, the number 8, which is infinity. And you can see it is weaving, it's DNA. And everything you said, back that up, brother. If she's the primordial source behind the whole universe, you can't discredit biological life from that. That was kind of crazy for you to say that You know, you brought up quantum physics, then you discredited Neith after you just said she's the primordial source for everything behind the cosmos. You discredited by saying except biological life. That should be the most key part of the whole concept.
What I said is that she fashions the universe. Can you give me the meta-nature for the...
Let me give you this. If she fashions the universe and you and me are a part of the universe, we actually are at the top of the food chain. We are the quote unquote brightest species in the universe. And if she fashions the universe and man really dictates the narrative down here, and we're made by parents and we come from the womb of a woman, and DNA is the foundation of human life, we can't exist without it. And this is the symbol above her head, and she fashions the universe. She represents feminine fertility energy. It also, like you said, primordial cosmic energies, because the universe can't be sustained without life, biological life. You and me, all of us, without DNA. That's all Neith represented. She's night, like I said, because... But listen, let me say this. Let me say this. Hold on. Let me say this, and I'm going to pass you the mic. I'm not done. I'm going to say this.
You complain about Sarnetta.
Brother, I'm about to pass you the mic as soon as I get finished. You do know that I got a big panel up here, and I made them mute their mics just so you can come and take over and talk. So we're giving you a lot.
You asked me to come on your platform to talk for a few minutes, and I did.
Okay, and I'm about to let you. And we're having a dialogue. It's a two-person discussion. The people enjoying it, but not when you cut me off. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pass you the mic back, but I'm gonna say this before I do that: that your conception of Neith and what this means is yours. If I get 20 people out the chat room, they may disagree with Brother Sanchez and disagree with Reggie. So at the end of the day, your interpretation is up for you. None of us was there to talk to the people who made this. I'm giving you the best explanation I've come up with based on my research, and I'm not alone on it. So, I mean, I'm willing to hear you some more, but it don't discredit nothing I just said. You have the floor, brother. Go ahead.
So, you cannot discard the ancient Egyptian text when you start talking about and objects in ancient Kemet. You have to source where they come from. I said that one of the places where you can find it is in the Esna text. I said that she fashions the, well, basically could be the universe. We're talking about that cannot guard the text. Talk about me. The meta-nature is the wavy symbol. So you cannot discard the text when you're talking about an object of ancient Egypt. You have to source the text, look at the translation, you can agree or disagree. That's not where it is the conception of the world. Hieroglyphics is the wavy symbol that makes the sound N. Half of bread, which you may call the dome, T, and then with that, kind of a whooping instrument that she's written. But when you look at her, she is a woman with an ankh in her head, and she has basically a symbol that some people say is 2 arrows. She is the weaver. That they look at that when they're talking about cosmology, that she weaves the universe. She is the thread, particles, that gives all particles, how can I say, a connection, a bond.
There you go. I teach about it all the time. You got it.
So she's not talking about specifically DNA.
Yes, she is. You just said it, brother. Hold on. If you said she's the thread, she's the bond, She's what ties together existence. If your DNA strands wasn't woven together, you just call her the weaver. Who's weaving these DNA strands together? It's Mother Nature. It's Neath, man. It's that simple. Our ancestors was dealing with science. Y'all guys kill me. Y'all do just like the biblical people. They come with these scriptures, and then when you break it down to them, they say, well, no, you can't take the shit literally. Well, what you mean is...
I'm being polite. I'm being very polite. I asked you first. That is where we draw knowledge from.
Say that again, brother. Say that again.
I'm being polite to you. You a source, and then I gave you a part of the text outside of the source.
Hey, okay. You asking me to show a source for what I'm saying?
That's correct.
I am the source. Whatever book I show you is going to be someone else's interpretation, not mine. I'm the author of my own book. No one, the book that you referring to, no one asked the author where the hell they get their source from. Because I've done the research that the author done. I can write a book just like the one you referring to. I am the source. What I'm telling you is this, Reggie. No text can validate none of your arguments just because it's written in a text when we're talking about hold on. Here's my sources don't make it right. The least
sources don't make it right. See, what sources do is give you a point of reference in which we can talk about it. But if you
I beg to differ.
Ultimate source,
I beg to differ. And I'm not the ultimate source. I didn't say that.
Well, you said, well, so anybody who comes from academia knows that I'm presenting the information correctly. I am sourcing it. The text says.
Okay, what is correctly to you? Because we do shit unorthodox over here. Flat motherfucking power. I don't like these suit and tie professional ass. Let me tell you something. All of these sources can kiss my ass. Don't nobody give me my credentials but the ancestors. I got a damn mind of my own. I can critical think. I don't got to go and get some other man's book from him to tell me what the hell he think. And I ain't trying to, this ain't against you. I'm just telling my people out here, this is ridiculous, man. Hey, at the end of the day, I want to know what Reggie think. Now, you brought up something called a Ezna text when the word Ezna is not even a Kemetic word. How are you going to source something that's ancient Kemetic with a Greek damn word, Ezna? The ancient Kemetic folks you referring to don't even know what the hell Ezna mean. They didn't use words like Ezna. They use words like Ahitat, Akhenaten, Imhotep. Ezna is some other shit. So, man, don't come up here with all this. A different arena, Reggie. You should email me. Okay, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Because we speak English. So it's named the Ezna text. So that is when you can look up the Ezna text, and then you can look up Ezna and you can look up Neath, find out what you might say. If I said Tassanet, then okay, then it might be harder to find the text. If I say Ezna, I'm just giving you a shortcut.
I don't want no damn shortcuts. That's what got us in trouble. So I want you to know. I don't want no shortcuts, no gimmicks, no hammy. Huh?
Or Winnie-net. That's the place in which they are calling. So I'm giving you all right, people want to learn.
And that's what they doing here. They ain't getting regurgitation here, Reggie. This is a stream of fresh water over here. If the shit that you bringing up, listen. Okay, what I'm saying is, brother, hold on. Let me say this. If I wanted to show up and give references to these guys, then I wouldn't even have a YouTube channel. I just have a Facebook page, and I'll be putting shit on my wall telling them where to go look it up. I'll be putting up the Ezna text and all that. But when I see that the answer ain't in the text, it's in nature and in each and every last one of them, then you find out the deception that lies in the text, because the truth predates what man done when he went chopping down trees to print books and write texts. We live in a world where man make books and his whole life is governed by what's in a damn book. The book is the binder. In school, they told you to show up with a binder. Don't you understand that that's another name? Do your synonym etymology for book. A book is a binder. When you read a book, it binds you with the author of the book. That's why people who buy hella books, they don't care if the books that they buy is bullshit. They still refer you to them books because they don't want to feel like they wasted their goddamn money. A fucking whole shelf full of books, and don't nobody go outside and look at the real book, which is nature. What difference does it damn make what sources you show up with?
Is to look at thoughts. Some thoughts are in books, some thoughts are in observations. You don't have to necessarily look at all books, but it is important to understand, to have different references. So listen, I'm not going to stay long after this. I got a chance to meet you. You're a good brother. Agree to disagree. You see where I'm coming from. Is there a question from someone else just wants to ask me a question real quick? Because I'm being respectful to your panel. We could talk another time, Brother Sanchez.
Hey, thanks, Brother Reggie, man, and it was a good bill. And thank you for not going too hard on me, because I get passionate like this. Some people think I'm attacking them, but much love to you. Like you said, we can't agree to disagree, but I'm just, man, Reggie, I see a lot of deception going on out here, and I just want to wake the people up. But yeah, I'm gonna mute my mic, and I'm gonna let you build with the panelists and have the last word. Go ahead, brother.
So I'm not trying, first of all, I'm not trying to deceive anyone. I'm just sharing the information that I know, because I had some great teachers and I've studied for a while, and I'm not, it's not religious with me. I could certainly be wrong. So, but when it comes to ancient cosmology, that's really what I want to talk about. So science, we could do that another time. I just wanted to say to the flat earthers, just don't use references.
I couldn't hear that because it cut off. You said to the flat earthers and then it cut out, Reggie.
A little bit more than observation. I can
hey, Reggie, you got to repeat that part.
And I appreciate everybody's time.
Hold on, Reggie, before you go. You said, I want to say to the flat earthers, and you kind of broke up. Say that one more time.
I respect thought. I respect information. But my main agenda is to talk about the ancient Kemetic or the Ramesh view of the world, their cosmology, and to say that they did not believe the world was. They did believe that Egypt was flat. They did believe that. They called their land Ta, and then where the other people lived, they called them hill places like the Hekasut, where the Hyksos came from, right? Or even where the Nubians came from. That not as flat, but as hilly. If there's a question I can take, I'll take the question.
Okay, I have a question. When you said the earth is not flat, it's hilly, is that what you said, or because you was kind of break it up?
Ancient people of Kemet and as Ta, and Ta was a flat piece with underneath it. However, the other places where people lived, the Hyksos, the Hekasut, they drew them with hills as a determinative.
Yeah, but when you said, hold on, so you're telling me that we got it all wrong because the word translates to flat. They wasn't talking about the earth is flat because they actually has hills according to this text too, and all of this, what it goes on to say. That's what you're saying?
No, I'm saying where the ancient Egyptians lived, Ta Seti, or the two lands as two flat lands. So to other places, they have a determinative. The het kasut, the determinative is hilly. And then when you go to the Nubians, hilly too, mountainous or hilly places where they're either flat. So they didn't use it as a concept of the world, a concept to talk about land.
So you saying when they spoke of flat, they wasn't saying that the whole earth is flat. They was just talking a concept dealing with land.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, now hold on. Wait. My next question is, if they're talking about land, but not the whole world, don't land make up the whole world? Isn't the earth made up of land, water? Even the water is sitting on top of land, because when you go down to the bottom of the ocean, that water sitting on top of dirt. So everything is sitting on land. And you said that the ancients said that this land was flat. I agree with them. Me and them on the same page. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but they said other lands were not flat.
Listen.
When you talk about the Hyksos,
listen. I get what you're confusing is you're confusing features on top of the land as this is what you're doing, Reggie. Our ancestors were correct. The earth is flat, just like they said. You said they deal with the word dealing with land, where the earth is made of land. It's composed of land. All things sits on land, and the ancestors said that's flat. I agree with them. Now you can go on the top of this flat land and see mountains and hills, and you can see canyons and all of this that exists on top of this flat surface. So, because right now, and shout out to my brother Ray. I see you, Ray. I'm gonna get you in, brother. I'm gonna let everybody get in. Let me say this to Reggie, because he making the same mistake that Seti made. D Marble, if someone want to get on the panel, they got to email me and I send them a link right away. Yeah, but Reggie, what I'm saying is this. I am sitting at a...
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Oh shit, Ray, I just muted you, Ray Morris. I'm gonna get you in. My bad. Let me go and finish up. I'm almost done. Reggie, the earth is flat. Just because you're bringing up hills and mountains, that doesn't mean the earth ain't flat,
yeah,
brother.
That's all right, bro. That's all right.
That's not what I'm saying. I am saying that the ancient Kemetic or Kemetu conception of the world, they drew it in the hieroglyphics. They drew Ta Seti, drew Kemet.
Show it to us.
Kemet. They drew Kemet.
Let's see the ancient Kemetic people concept of the cosmos. Let's look it up. I'm going to share my screen because I want to show and prove. Oh, snap. I hope I didn't show the link because some troll may come again. So here we go, Reggie. Can you see that?
Yeah, that's one cosmology.
Now, okay, yeah, I got a question to you. When you refer to ancient Kemetic cosmology or their concept of the cosmos, is this the one you're referring to, Brother Reggie?
That is one of the cosmologies.
You said this is... Hold on, you're breaking up real bad. Repeat that again.
That cosmology.
Hold on, Reggie. Reggie, it's horrible.
The Heliopolis cosmology or the Atum cosmology.
Hold on, wait. Hold up. I know it gets annoying, but your connection is bad. Do this again for me, Reggie. You got the flow because it was horrible, the breakups. Go ahead.
The ancient people of several cosmologies. That's cosmologies. That cosmology, Atum cosmology, Atum Ra.
Atumra cosmology is what you say.
That is, yes, that is dealing with
Well,
get right uso the L right set. That is dealing with that. That's one cosmology of the world.
all right, so what I want to know from you is, when you refer to ancient Kemet, is there a specific one you're talking about? Because we have to be specific here when we're talking. Because when I refer to ancient cosmology, Reggie, I'm referring to the one you're looking at right now, NUT and GEB. And our Kemetic ancestors weren't the only one to have this. I can show, hold on, I just let you speak. What I'm saying is, I can show you plenty more cosmologies all around the earth that's just like this one you see in Kemet. So if I agree with you that this is just one cosmology, but what I'm saying is it's the oldest and the most consistent. That's my argument.
And what I would like to add is that GEB, which is the land, is showed.
Cosmology.
Oh, sorry, Reggie. We couldn't hear you. You were breaking up again.
Oldest cosmology, or the most ancient of those cosmologies, the cosmology. Con 8, the Octad.
I can't really hear the brother.
Okay. So I'm sorry, is my internet connection? Brother Sanchez.
Hey, Reggie, I can help you with that too and have your signal come.
You
a shout out to M Benz. I think D Mar was trying to share that for us. Yeah, that's what I was gonna tell him. I was gonna help him out with that. There you go. A shout out to M Benz. I think D Mar was. And you watching this on YouTube, just go ahead and kill your YouTube video. Reggie, if you still with us, go ahead, brother. The floor is yours. And you watching this on YouTube, just go ahead and kill your YouTube video. If anybody on the panel want to build, go ahead.
Yeah, I hope Reggie can hear me, but I took some notes on what he was saying. First, I want to say that the biggest problem that Brother Sanchez always runs into when dealing with the conscious community, quote unquote, is that they never have taken the time to really take in Brother Sanchez's knowledge that he puts out there. And that's revealed in the type of questions that's asked. A lot of the type of questions that are asked are very redundant, and it actually makes them lose followers because they don't know that a lot of their followers fuck with Brother Sanchez's and Dread's and mine and D Marble's information. But so when they ask questions, hold on, who is that? So yeah, when they ask, is that Ray? Can you mute your mic, please, Ray? So when they ask questions that are very rudimentary, very elementary in nature, it shows that they haven't done enough research on it. And when their own followers can answer a question better than Dr. Reggie can or Sonetta can, it reveals, the lack of information. Reggie said that the ancient Africans saw that the ostrich egg, which is the biggest egg in the world, is spherical, and they drew their world on it. But the key word was, you said, or he said, that they drew their world on it. Notice there is no globe. There is no ancient globe. You cannot now, they say that the ancient Africans have sailed to the continents and have seeded civilizations, but there has been no actual globe being produced, not until like the 1400s, the late 1400s, by the Europeans, might I add. Before that, the world was flat. We talk about the four corners of the earth and things in that nature. Now, it really baffles me at how we can talk about the greatest accomplishment in human history and owe that to the Great Pyramids. But at the same time, we will say that they didn't know enough to describe their world accurately. And I think that's a shame, because it's really dissing the ancestors, because today the constellations are still aligned with the pyramids and what they've built on other continents, so on and so forth. So we know that we're not spinning at all these speeds. We're not spreading apart from the constellations faster and faster as every day goes by. It's just nonsense. There's no way that we can still be lining up with the same constellations thousands of years later if we were on a spinning globe. So those are some of the things that I wanted to say. And we must keep in mind that if it is true indeed that the Africans were sailing from continent to continent, then you have to take into consideration that on a flat Earth model, some of those distances are actually double. So you can't plan to navigate to the South Americas with on a globe map, because if you do it with a globe map, it's gonna show that you're gonna get there in half the time that you would actually get there. So there's a whole bunch of planning logistics that goes on when having a flat Earth conceptualization. You can't just say they thought the Earth was flat because they didn't know enough. Well, no, that you got to think about sea navigation and building on lands at such huge scales like the pyramids and obelisks. So I just wanted to leave that there, and anybody can build off of that.
So yeah, the only thing I wanted to add is I hear what you're saying, but there is evidence of, obviously there is Werish Nefer. The Werish Nefer sarcophagus certainly contains a globe with cities and people on it. So you just can't discard that information. And if I was to pull out several other globes, but I can give you one for now, which is Werish Nefer, because Jabari gave that when he was talking to you, and everybody knows that I brought up, I was probably one of the earliest people to bring up Werish Nefer and the globe, and that is in the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. So that's what I would offer as far as empirical evidence for now.
I wouldn't like to. Well, we saw that evidence, and it was very weak. Because Brother Sanchez actually went in. Well, hold on, Brother Sanchez actually went in on what that was. Hold on, I just wanted to.
I mean, when you do something like that, disrespectful. You're going to say that my stuff is weak as an argument, and then, but I'm not disrespecting you. So listen, I'll come back at another time.
It's no disrespect,
now
brother. You're
I
from
got
Harlem.
to go.
No, don't do that, because that often
I mean,
happens.
I am going to do that, because if you're going to talk to me,
hold on,
and you're going to tell me my evidence is weak, and just pull it out, and you don't even know about it.
Just land. Because what they show is just people on the land working the land. There's no water. So again, they may have conceptualized their world, but they do not conceptualize the.
But that's the only thing that we're talking about. We're talking about the ancient Egyptian conception of the world. Listen, they knew the Nile, they knew the Delta. So I'm gonna check this out. Why don't y'all just read and stuff? I'm not gonna be disrespectful to y'all. I'm gonna say I'll talk to y'all a little later. All right?
Disrespect.
Hey, well, let me say shout out to you, Reggie, man. It ain't no disrespect, brother. Man, you gonna hook up in the future. We'll build, man, when you get some time.
Peace.
Yeah, peace out, man.